Good morning, everybody, and thank you very much for coming. My name is Craig Greenberg, and I'm one of the co-developers of this wonderful 111 Whiskey Row project, and along with everyone is thrilled to be here today. We're thrilled to provide an update on Whiskey Row's development progress since last July's devastating fire. And first, let me introduce, representing the ownership group of Main Street Revitalization, Mr. Steve Wilson.
Thank you, Craig. We would like to give thanks to the Louisville Fire Department for battling the blaze for 4 days without loss of life or injury. They also put out the fire in such a fashion that we're able to preserve as much of the building as possible and continue with our goals. A particular thanks to Chief Frederick and Captain Melendez. Are they here? And the other first responders who are here with us today. Also, we want to thank the construction crew that's doing all the work on these buildings. Led by Sullivan & Cozart and many other local firms, including ironworkers, micropile workers, masonry repair crews, and many others. These crews have been working on this ever since Thanksgiving, much of it just by taking out the debris and the damage by hand. While our timeline has changed, our mission is the same: preserve these buildings, these historic, important buildings to the community, and give them new, vibrant life to help in the continued revitalization of downtown Louisville. We have a committed group of investors who believe in the power of preservation, and they're all here with us today. And we have salvaged thousands of bricks, hundreds of wood joists, beams, and doors, and many other cast iron pieces. So not only are we preserving these buildings, we're saving as much as possible for use in other restoration projects as well. We have a wonderful neighbor and partner in Brown-Forman. We are joined here today by the president of Old Forester, Campbell Brown. Most of you know that Brown-Forman, was founded by my wife's great-grandfather and Campbell's great-great-grandfather. So we're very proud to have him here today, and we're proud of the commitment that Brown-Forman has made to Whiskey Row and all the other community projects that we're involved with. So, Mayor, would you like to come forward and make a few comments? I heard you say you were going to put your police department in suits like mine.
Look good. We'd be the talk of the country. There'd be no question about that. All right, how about another round of applause for our firefighters and our construction workers here? Great job. That was an incredible day last July, and one of the things that was amazing about it is that normally the public does not get to see our public safety officials, in this case our fire department, actually battling a fire in real time and trying to save one of the most historic structures in our city as well. And so the combination of power and grace that you guys showed and advanced technology with your drone surveillance was really something that the whole industry has been talking about for some time. And then to take on this project and reconstruct it with the skill that Sullivan Cozart has, and you guys have done this as well, as Steve mentioned, on this kind of literally one brick at a time, and be in this environment and have safety as the paramount concern. This is the kind of project that will be analyzed by Construction Magazine, engineering reviews to say, how did they do this? And then when you take a look at historic preservation, obviously this has been a major challenge from the leadership of the group that stepped up to purchase this building, or these buildings, and save them as an important part of the city, which was not easy, and that was fraught with drama and peril, I should say, some 5 years ago. So their leadership to do that, and then what will end up, I think, being a capstone of one of the most amazing blocks in our country. This will be something that will be talked about in many, many different circles, from preservation to tourism to engineering, construction. So just a fabulous job by everybody here to make this happen today. We have to invest in our latest public safety equipment. I wanted to make a plug for that because we're in the final 2 days of our budget deliberations for the city, and this budget that the Metro Council is going to be voting on tomorrow contains funding for new fire trucks and a class of new firefighter recruits as well to join these outstanding professionals as well. So we've got to keep investing as a city, and that's all of us as citizens to do this, to keep this kind of work going here and possible here in our city. I think Whiskey Row is both making and recreating history in our city, and the progress and promise of Whiskey Row, as I mentioned, I think is just a great testament to the vision and tenacity which everybody on this project has had, but particularly the ownership group, who looked at this about a year ago, and we'll recall the conversations we had over there and over there. And I can remember Val and Craig and others, Ron, saying, this is going to be a tremendously exciting chapter in the legacy of Whiskey Row, as the building was in flames right in front of us. And the courage they showed to look at this setback as an opportunity for greatness was really inspirational to me that day. It's not exactly how it went down, but that was one of the conversations we had. But you can imagine all the work that they'd put into this, and then to see this huge fire and say, oh my gosh, what's going to happen now? But boy, they stuck with it, and everybody's just done a world-class job to make this happen. Obviously, we know how important it is for our city's authenticity, but it's also really critical when you think about what's happening with the expanding tourism that we have in our city. 16 million visitors last year, a lot of them coming for bourbon tourism, bourbonism. And there is no block more significant in the history of our city relative to our native spirit than the block that we're standing on right now. So big time congratulations, and thanks to everybody for such a wonderful progress on this. Obviously, we've cleaned up the facades now with the superstructure or supporting beams gone, and before too awful long, you know, we'll be moving closer to the building, so traffic will be out here. But this is a significant milestone for us here today, celebrating the removal of the structural support. So great job to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor Fisher, and also thanks to all of city government, Metro Council, Council President Yates, David Karam from Waterfront Development Company. This has been a true public-private partnership since day one, even long before the fire. We really appreciate your support and everyone's support from city government. Also quickly, there are some other co-owners of the project here from Main Street Revitalization with us that, in addition to Steve Val and I wanted to recognize. Nina Bonney, Edie Bingham, and Christy Brown have been part of the ownership group from day one on this project, and are all not only committed preservationists generally, but particularly committed to the restoration of historic buildings in and around Louisville and Kentucky. And their support, as all of the support of the project owners, has not wavered since day one, even through these challenges. Just a few quick more things. As the mayor said, we're really here today to celebrate the progress that we've made on the reconstruction since the fire a year ago, the removal of the structural exterior supports. You still see some scaffolding on the building that's here. That is not structural, but that's part of the regular masonry repair that would have gone on with or without the fire, as well as repainting and refreshing the cast iron. In terms of the schedule for this project moving forward, the completion of the commercial shell and the residential apartments is slated for 1 year from now, in June of 2017. So a year from now, we'll be back and we'll have restaurants and other exciting venues that will be opening during the summer of 2017 on 3 floors of the building. There are also a lot of leasing opportunities in this project that we are speaking with some very exciting tenants right now. We're very close to signing our first lease with an exciting new venue that we hope to have an announcement about in the very near future. This building has over 25,000 square feet of restaurant space on both the Main Street level where we are now, as well as on the Washington Street level, which has its own entrance at the Washington Street level, which is one level below here. There's 13,000 square feet of office and special use space on the second floor, and we have 12 residential apartments that will be above that to add to the growth of residential living in downtown Louisville, which is so important. Our commercial leasing is being handled by Justin Baker and Frank Bellis of Trio Commercial Group, who's been doing a wonderful job for us. We'll be happy to take any questions in just a minute, but two other quick things. One is after we're done with any questions, and I'll be joined with Ron Carmichael, who is our owner's representative, who's been working with us since day one on this project, overseeing construction. Val Jones and also Campbell will be available for questions about not just this project, but also the Old Forester distillery that he and Brown-Forman are redeveloping so wonderfully right next door. Following questions, we'd love to invite everyone that's with us today, the media and all of our other guests, to go into the buildings and view the interiors of these buildings. You can enter through 113, which is right here in the middle of the chain link fence. Hopefully we'll have a little break in the rain. And we'll have people inside that are available to ask questions, as well as look down and up and see the structure that we've rebuilt as part of the project. And you can still see some of the remains of the fire as well. Just please stay on the floor in the cordoned off areas. It's an active construction site. It's not totally dry, but it's well worth looking inside. And so we encourage everyone to take a look. And also, in addition, we'll have a picnic lunch right here under our tent for our construction crew, for the firefighters, and all of you all. We really, really, really appreciate everything that the firefighters and our great construction team has done. It's been hard and challenging work, yet they've persevered to help save Risky Row. And we're pleased that the lunch today is co-sponsored by Brown-Forman along with Main Street Revitalization. So once again, thanks to all of the firefighters and construction crews.